Peace and Yah bless. Yah is a strong one. The strong one is Yah. He's a tree of life. He's a fountain of living waters. He's the spirit and creator of all things that live and breathe. On this particular discourse, we're going to talk about the third temple. Okay, the third temple unto Yah, the house of Yah. Okay, soon to come in the late great future, the third temple on the Temple Mount for the third time, but the first time in a long time, in probably 2,000 years. Okay, whenever we go home to make this happen, to facilitate this great house for the true one and only God, whose name is Yah, YHWH in English, and Yod Heh Wah Heh in the Hebrew dialect. All right. Now, what you're seeing in front of you is the schematic of the temple. Now, one of the things you have to know about the temple is how to come in the temple and how to go out the temple, because the temple does have rules. Okay. But let's go to the text and read a little text first. Okay. Ezekiel chapter 46. Okay. It tells when the temple's open and things like that. Okay. When to come to it. All right. All right. Thus saith Yah God, the gate of the inner court that looketh towards the east, right, shall be shut 6 working days, okay? But on the Sabbath it shall be opened, okay? And in the day of the new moon it shall be opened, okay? All right. Then it gets into what the prince does whenever he comes to the temple, okay? Now, on the Sabbath day, he's the only one who can move, okay? He's the only one that can move about on the Sabbath day. Everybody else stays at rest. So on the Sabbath day, which today many people call Saturday or Friday night to Saturday night, right? Okay? That's the time frame, okay? On the Sabbath day, the prince is the only one who comes to the actual temple, okay? This is not like religions, okay? You don't come visit the house, every week, okay? You come there on the new moons and you come there on the festival days, okay? Like Passover, unleavened bread, the Feast of Weeks, Feast of Tabernacles, okay? During those times, naturally on the first day of the month, known as the new moon, okay? It stipulates that, states that right here, okay? On the new moon, the gates open and you can come to the house at that time, bring, sacrifices, just come and pray, come and worship, and you leave, okay? It's a different situation from, what people do in religion. You don't come here and, you don't hear people preach, or give speeches and all that. You come here for blessings. You come here to leave your offerings to Yah. That's pretty much it. Okay. The temple operates totally different from any other kind of, religious organization on earth. Okay. It's not meant to be a place where you come for, where you like what you see in religions. Okay. Come in, you traverse the inner court and you go out. Okay, you can meet with your friends or talk with your friends. There'll probably be different things inside of the temple where you can, definitely, deal with other people, your colleagues, whatever. Okay, all right. So this is what the prince does. I'm not going to go over that when he comes there on the Sabbath day. Okay. Now, right here in verse number 3, it talks about just the laity, or what they call the lay people, or you can just call them the laity. Right. It says, likewise, the people of the land, right, the land of Israel, shall worship at the door of this gate, right, before Yah, right, okay, in the Sabbaths and in the new moons, okay. Now you notice now it's plural. So the Sabbaths, okay, plural, always is talking about the feast days, Passover, like I said, Feast of Weeks, all right, also Feast of Tabernacles in the last great day, right? So whenever you see it plural, it's talking about all of the feast days of Yah that you're supposed to be at the temple, okay? But when it talks about the Sabbath day, then that's a whole different matter, okay? All right, especially when you see it just singular, okay? When it says, but on the Sabbath, okay? That means it's talking about the Sabbath day itself, okay? But when you see it plural, it's talking about the feast of Yah, okay? Make sure you're able to make that distinction, or this will confuse you, okay? All right? Now, then it gets into how you go back and forth in and out of the temple, okay? So, again, we're talking about the people, okay? First of all, it tells you when the people can come to the temple and worship. Keyword, they worship at the door at the east gate, right? Okay? Then it tells you when, okay? But when the people of the land shall come before Yah in the solemn feast, and that's these Sabbaths, plural, okay? Not the Sabbath singular. The Sabbath singular is talking about the Sabbath day. That's when the prince shows up and does what his duties, okay? And you notice he worships too, okay? He should worship at the threshold of the gate, okay? Whenever he shows up, all right? But when the people, they don't show up on the Sabbath day because we're at rest on the Sabbath day, okay? All right? Remember, Sabbath singular, the Sabbath day, okay? All right. The people show up on the solemn feast, or what they call the Sabbaths, plural, okay? You have to make that distinction. If not, you're going to be confused, all right? And also on the new moons, all right? Every first of the month, the people can come worship at the temple, okay? All right? All right. So that's what it's telling you right here in verse number 9. But when the people of the land come before Yah in the solemn feast, okay, he should enter, okay, in by way of the north gate to worship, and shall go out by the way of the south gate, okay? Now this is talking about the people. It's saying he, but it's talking about the people, all right? He that entereth by way of the south gate shall go forth by the way of the north gate, okay? He shall not return by the way of the gate whereby he came in, okay? But shall go forth over against it. In other words, what it's talking about right there is telling you whatever gate you use, you exit the opposite gate, okay? Now I'm going to go show you what it's talking about, okay? Now here's a schematic of the third temple, the layout, okay, the blueprint, okay? Everybody's seen it, a few times at least, okay? All right? Now, now there's 3 outer gates, okay? All right, you have the south gate, you have the east gate, then you have the north gate, okay? We'll talk about the east gate first. The east gate, whenever Yah, after the first sacrifice is put on right here, okay, in the inner court, Yah will come through this gate. Everybody's going to witness this. Then he'll come through the inner east gate, okay? Then he'll go back into the oracle, all right? And that's where he'll reside, his spirit, okay? And dwell with the children of Israel forever, right? Okay? Now, once again, there are 3 outer gates, and then there are 3 inner gates, okay? So know the difference. There are 3 outer gates, and then there are 3 inner gates, all right? So when the people, when they come in, they can only use the north gate and the south gate, okay? So what that was saying right there in verse number 9, okay, is if you come in the north gate, let's say it's a new moon, right? And you come in for worship, or you come in the north gate, you're going to leave your sacrifices, then you'll traverse around to the east gate. This gate will be open. That's what it's telling you about in chapter 46 of Ezekiel, okay, verse number 1, okay, whenever the doors will be open, okay? When the doors are open, the people can come. It's available for worship, okay? Whether it's the prince by himself or whether it's the people, okay, on the solemn feast days, okay, or what they call the Sabbaths, right? Plural form, right? All right, now make sure you make that distinction, all right? So you'll come in the north gate and you'll leave your sacrifices. There'll be tables right here, right? And then you'll come around this way and you will bow to the ground, okay? Because y'all gonna be able to see, because this gate's open, and the temple gate actually right here will be open. So he'll be able to see your worship, okay? So you come through, you bow, and then whenever you exit out the south gate, okay? If you come in the south gate, then you go all the way around, and you bow, you worship, and then you go out the north gate. That's what it's telling you in verse number 9, that you're not supposed to go. So don't come in the north gate and then turn around and go back out the north gate. That is the temple law. Temple law is when you come in through the north gate, you come in, you worship at the east gate, right? And then you go out the south gate, all right? So you always go to the opposite gate if you're the regular people, okay? Now, nobody enters these gates, okay? I'm talking about the north and southeast, for the inner court. Nobody enters those gates. Okay, the lay people come in only the outer gates do they deal with it, only the north and south. Now, for the prince, when he comes to the Sabbath day, he has a special corridor that he comes through, that he'll be able to pass through, and he'll come in and he'll worship, okay? Like it tells you right here, okay? Well, the prince does, talking about the prince himself right here, okay? Says that what he shall worship at the threshold of the gate, okay? So he comes in, he prostrates himself all the way down to the ground, okay? And his sacrifices are put on the altar, right? And he worships before God, okay? Then he can return. Now this is on a Sabbath day. Then he can go out and go through his corridor and back out. Normally he'll go and he'll stop right here in this east gate. He can't pass through the outer east gate, but he can stop right here and talk with the Most High, and then boop, he goes back out his little special corridor. They have a special door that he comes through, okay? But that's only on the Sabbath day, and that's only for the prince, because he has his own day that he comes in and worships before God, okay? All right, as it tells you right here in verse number 2 of Ezekiel chapter 46, all right? That's what it's talking about, the prince. See, it says the prince right there, okay? He enters by way of the porch, okay, of the gates outside, okay? And he stands by the post of the gate, and the priest shall prepare his burnt offerings. Notice the prince is bringing offerings. I told you guys that, this thing with the New Testament is not true, because the prince is bringing offerings. What would the prince be doing bringing offerings if this so-called NT stuff was true? Okay? If so-called Jesus was the last sacrifice. Man, no such thing as that, man. Plus, the Most High don't accept human sacrifice, all right? That's against Torah, okay? All right? I just want you guys to see that, okay? The prince bringing burnt offerings, man. Okay? All right? And his peace offerings. And he shall worship at the threshold of the gate, as I told you guys earlier. Okay? He'll come in through his corridor on the Sabbath day, and boom, he'll stop right here, and he'll worship, all right? Now, the people, when it comes to the feast days, as I told you, or the new moons, they'll come in right through the north gate, and they'll traverse around, they'll stop, and they worship. Then they can talk with their friends, do whatever, and then they'll go ahead, and they'll go to the south gate, and they'll go right out, okay? So pretty simple, okay? It's not complicated. Go read the chapter 46 of Ezekiel if you do not understand, to get you some wise understanding. But it's going to be a great day when the temple is built, man. I can't wait to do this thing. Here's another, schematic of it. Same thing, okay? Once again, you come up to the north gate, stop at the inner east gate, and you worship, and you go on back out. You might talk with your friends or whatever you want to do, okay? It may look something like this. You see people out here standing around, talking, congregating, after they, came in. See, they'll come to the north gate and they'll stop right here and they'll worship, because these are the three inner gates, right? They'll worship right here, and they'll just go on, talk, whatever, and go right on out, okay? The temple's gonna be big, man. It's a big place, okay? All right. You see the third temple size in comparison to the old temples. This is the third temple, okay? You look right here. This is Solomon's, the first temple, right? That's the tabernacle, okay? It's Solomon's temple. Okay, this is, I think, Herod's temple, okay? Then, you see here's a football field. This is the American football field. It says right there, American football field. See how big the temple's going to be? It's going to be a huge complex, all right? This is just one football field. You probably fit about 12 football fields inside of this temple complex. That's how big it's going to be. It's going to be a great sized temple, okay? All right, so that's the temple rule, okay? You come in the north gate, you go out the south gate. Come in the south gate, you go out the north gate, and that's for the lay people. The prince has his own gate for the Sabbath day, okay? He's the only one who moves on the Sabbath day. Nobody comes to the temple on the Sabbath day, okay? All right, like I said, don't work like religion. You don't come there and worship, like once a week and all that. You come on the new moons, and then you come on the feast days, what they call the solemn feast, all right? All right. Now, Isaiah chapter 2, and we're done. And many people shall go and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Yah, unto the house of God, right, of Jacob. And he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of Yah from Jerusalem. Thank you all for listening. Peace, and Yah bless you.